It's hexagonal in shape and is using the Naturally Eclectic Designer Series paper, and I've done this one in Tranquil Tide. I got the inspiration for this pen holder from a Nivea bath set that I had for Christmas. I went to open it the other day and I thought that's quite a pretty pattern. I wonder if I could try and get the same sort of thing into a box. And this is what I've done with it. So it is simple, it's just sticking and scoring, but it might take a bit of time. I'll explain everything that we do with it. I have folded the top over to give it a reinforced top, because holding all your pens in it, you are going to need something that's a little bit stiff and not falling about all over the place. So I'm still using the Naturally Eclectic Designer Series paper, but I am using this one now. If you watch my haul that I did at the start of the week, you'll know that this was my favourite piece of paper in the set, and I've been waiting all week to do something with it that's beautiful. And I thought, how about doing something that will be sat on my desk for ages with it? I coordinated it with the Berry Burst Stampin' Up cardstock. So let's get started. I'll give you all the measurements first, just in case you're going to pause this to cut them. These strips are 1 1/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches, which is 3 centimetres by 12 centimetres, and you will need 6 of them. Okay. The cardstock is 9 1/2 inches by 7 1/2 inches, or 25 centimetres by 20 centimetres. All of the measurements will be up on my blog, so you will be able to see them. But just to let you know, while you're doing it, those are the measurements. I have tried to play around with my video so I could get the measurements come up on the corner, but I get them to come up, but they stay up for the whole of the tutorial rather than just for a few seconds. So I think my digital skills aren't working there. So if you take out your Simply Scored scoring tool, and if we do this long sides first, you want to do this at 1 1/2 inches or 4 centimetres, 3 inches, 8 centimetres, 4 1/2 inches, 12 centimetres, 6 inches, 16 centimetres, 7 1/2 inches, 20 centimetres, and 9 inches, 24 centimetres. So it's 1 1/2 inch increments or 4 centimetre increments. And then you want to turn it round so you're on the shorter side, and you want to score this at 1 1/4 of an inch. Oh. No, you don't. You want to score it at 1 1/2 inches. I'm following the instructions for these little bits of paper. Ignore that. 1 1/2 inches you want to score it at, which is 4 centimetres, and 6 1/2 inches, which is 17 1/2 centimetres. Okay. No one will see that anyway because it's going to be on the bottom, but I do apologise for that. So that's all the scoring you need. So I'm going to take my bone folder. I'm going to fold all of these over this way round. If you do these ones first, I'll explain to you what we're doing with the others. We've been scoring Designer Series paper all week. You can go a bit tougher on the cardstock because it is so thick to get it to turn. Now with these ones, the bigger square at the bottom, or the actual square at the bottom, the 1 1/2 inch by 1 1/2 inch you've got at the bottom, if you fold that in, so it folds into where all your scores are, like that, and this one at the top, the rectangle, you want to fold that against, so you want to fold that in the opposite way backwards. Okay, and that's all your scoring. So if you take your snips now, and I'll explain to you where you want to cut. If you have it so the square is at the bottom and the rectangle is at the top here, so we start with the squares at the bottom, which is the 1 1/2 inch by 1 1/2 inch, it's the bigger section. You want to snip up each of these, and you don't want to do it straight up, you want to just do it so you have a little bit of a tab there, and the same on the end. Okay, and you want to do that on each one. Sorry, I'm taking my time doing this. It's because I want to put this on my desk afterwards. I want it to be absolutely perfect by the end of it. I'm not just going to rush through it for a demonstration, because if anything does go wrong, then I'm going to be quite upset, because I'll have to look at it every day thinking, you did that wrong. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist with things like that. I like them to be correct. So when you get to this bit at the end, that's not really needed. So if you just cut that off to make yourself a tab here. So this is the thin part here. You want to do exactly the same at the top, but this time you want to go straight down and do that. The top pieces here, you don't want to do a tab here, you want to just be straight on every single one of them. Now, you need your Stampin' Up envelope punch board for this, and you want to fold each piece so that you can get it under this top bit that rounds the corners, like that, and round all the corners. That's the ideal thing to use. I'm not going to use it because I'm on camera and I want to see what I'm doing, but I can't get my head over the top, so I'm going to use this tiny little one that I do have. But it's not ideal because it doesn't get as clean a cut as the envelope punch board. So you want to use the envelope punch board to get it perfect. But as I don't want you to have my head in all the shots, so this is a small rectangle bit at the top. You bring in each bit in and you just round in each corner of these. I'm doing it this way first, and then I will go back and do the other side so that both corners are rounded. Come around the other way. Wrong with that. And I'm sorry, I don't actually think with the way I'm bending the paper you can see what I'm doing anyway. So I might as well have used the envelope punch board. So that's all that now, so that will fold round to create your box. So now you want to take it, so the side where these fold in and these fold against, and you want to come in with your snail and each of your panels. If you follow the measurements that I gave you earlier, these panels should fit in exactly. Like that. Now I had a discussion with myself when I was doing this as to whether I wanted them all to be the same. And what I actually decided was yes, but you could use the other side. It's still yes, because this is so close. But you could do it so that each panel has a different pattern on it. Like I said, I'm not going to. I'm going to make sure that all my chevron arrows are running downwards. For those that want, you can make sure that these correspond together. I haven't. I like the variation in colours across. I think if you're using a colour as bold as Berry Burst, then it just makes sense to make it as colourful as possible. Okay. When you're sticking the designer series paper onto the cardstock, it is okay to use snail, but I'll be using double-sided tape for the rest of the project because it'll be sticking card to card. So to do that, I'm just going to come across with my double-sided tape, and I'm going to stick a little bit on each of these top wings. Now, I did try it first of all without sticking the wings down so that they flew loosely and they looked a bit flowery, like a daisy, I suppose, with all the different loose tabs at the top. I liked it, but I didn't like it on a pen pop because it was just too fly away. It was just looking for it to fall apart. And by sticking it back down, it reinforced the top, which is of course the bit that you want reinforced, so that nothing damages it. And then you want to turn it over, and these three here, I want to stick one down there and two in the middle, like that. Okay, so you come back and you pull these off and stick down. On each section, like that. Okay, you just want to put some more double-sided tape as close to the edge on this tab as possible. And then, just because I don't like to waste any, I'm just going to stick that on there. Right. So here you want to pull that one off, keep it bent up and pull these off as well. It is so fiddly if you assemble the box without taking the backing off the double-sided tape. Then you have to try and get your fingers in to get to the tape, which can work out a bit messy. So you want to bring your box across and seal it. Like that. And you want to turn it upside down. Beware of the three that have the sticky on, which are these three here. So you want to push down the three without the stick first. Then you want to start with the one in the middle, which has the tape in the middle, just there. You want to go with this one, which also has the tape in the middle. And you want to finish it with the one that has the tape on the end, like that. Okay, and then you want to bring your bone folder in and just make sure everything's stuck down in the bottom of the box there. And that is your hexagonal pen pot.